All right, let's dive into one of the biggest puzzles of the COVID-19 pandemic. We're going on a little investigation today, looking at a really fascinating theory that might just explain why this one virus had such wildly different impacts on people. It's a story that's going to take us deep, deep inside our own immune system. So here's the question that had everyone stumped, right? How could one person get COVID and barely feel a thing while someone else ends up in a life or death battle? Well, according to a pretty compelling hypothesis, the answer might be found in a dramatic chain reaction, a sort of biological heist story involving a civil war, a stolen vitamin, and a critical choice between war and peace. Okay, so before we can figure out what went wrong, we have to understand how things are supposed to go right. And it all starts with this idea called immune tolerance. Think about it this way. Your immune system is like this incredibly powerful army inside you. Immune tolerance is the basic training that teaches that army not to attack its own side, not to fire on its own citizens. It is absolutely essential for keeping the peace inside your body. But what happens if that tolerance breaks down? Well, the army can literally turn on the very people it's supposed to protect. It's an internal conflict, a civil war, and it's what researchers now think was happening in the most severe cases of COVID-19.
So what on earth could make the body's best defenders go rogue like that? Well, the first big clue in this mystery is probably sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now.
Yep, we're talking about retinol, or as you probably know it, vitamin A. We all hear it's good for our eyesight, right? But it turns out it has this secret second job that's way more intense. It acts like a top commander, giving crucial orders to your immune cells. And this hypothesis suggests COVID doesn't just fight this commander, it makes it completely disappear. So how exactly does this viral heist go down? Let's walk through it. First, the virus invades and just floods your body with its RNA. This sets off an internal alarm system, a sensor called RIG-I. But here's the kicker. To sound that alarm, RIG-I needs fuel, and guess what that fuel is? A special form of vitamin A. So in a really severe infection, that alarm is just blaring nonstop, and it burns through your body's entire reserve of vitamin A. Poof, the commander just vanishes from the battlefield. And that commander could not have disappeared at a worse time, because deep inside the immune system, a brand new naive T cell is about to make a decision that could mean life or death. So this young T cell is standing at a fork in the road. Does it become a peacemaker, telling everyone to calm down, or does it become an all-out warrior, escalating the fight? The entire outcome really hangs on this one single choice. You see, this T cell has two possible destinies. On one side, it can turn into a peacemaker, also known as a Treg cell. Its whole job is to suppress inflammation and stop that civil war. But on the other side, it can become a warrior or a Th17 cell. This one just screams attack and pours gasoline on the inflammatory fire. You need both, of course, but it's all about the balance. So what's the deciding factor? What's the switch? Well, it all comes down to that vitamin A signal. If that signal from the commander is there, the T cell becomes a peacemaker, and you get peace. But if that signal is missing, because the virus used it all up, the T cell defaults to the warrior path, leading to total runaway inflammation. Okay, so we've gathered all the clues. Let's put them together now and solve this thing with what scientists are calling the retinol depletion hypothesis. It all starts right here. A massive viral load from SARS-CoV-2 storms the body. That initial immune alarm system goes into total overdrive, and in the process, completely wipes out the body's critical supply of vitamin A. So now the vitamin's gone, which means the commander is missing in action. That crucial stand-down signal can no longer be sent to the T cells. And without that signal, the body literally can't create the peacemaker cells it so desperately needs to get the immune response under control. With no one there to pump the brakes, the T cells just default to the warrior path. The army becomes totally dominated by these hyper-aggressive warrior cells. And hey, you don't just have to take my word for it. The researchers who developed this hypothesis put it perfectly in their paper. They said, with the depletion of retinol, the transformation of naive T cells to regular T cells is blocked, while transformation into effector Th17 cells is promoted.
And what's the final result? What happens when you have an army with only warriors and absolutely no peacemakers? You get a cytokine storm. It's when the immune system's warriors unleash this overwhelming flood of inflammatory signals. The civil war turns into a catastrophic, all-out attack on the very body it's sworn to protect. Now, this is a much bigger deal than just explaining severe COVID. If this is right, understanding this mechanism opens up a whole new way of looking at the disease and everything that comes after it. Think about it. This one single idea could connect the dots for so many of the pandemic's lingering questions. It could explain why the damage wasn't just in the lungs, but spread to multiple organs. It could give us a reason for the chronic inflammation we see in long COVID. It might even explain why some patients, with their immune systems so out of whack, suddenly became vulnerable to other things, like secondary infections. And maybe most important of all, it points us toward potential new ways to treat this. I mean, if the core problem is a missing vitamin, could part of the solution really be as straightforward as replacing it? It's a huge question that researchers are looking at right now. And that just leaves us with a really fascinating thought to end on. In our constant search for complex, high-tech solutions, this whole idea is a powerful reminder that sometimes, just sometimes, the key to controlling our body's most powerful forces might be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for tuning in.